Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a kind of get ready with me because I don't really know what I'm going to be doing makeup wise. I'm off to London to go and have some lunch with my friend, and then we have tickets to go and see Little Women before it comes out in cinema, so I'm excited about that. I've got a new foundation that I want to try. This is the Kevyn Aucoin foundation balm. So I'm going to start off with my base makeup and then move on to the eyes and just see where we end up. So I've got 3 shades in the Kevyn Aucoin foundation balm. I tend to fall into kind of light and medium, so I decided to go with the darkest of the light shades and then a neutral version of the medium, which was about second in the medium range, but both of them are too light for me. So luckily I do have a deep shade which I was planning to use to contour, which I still will. However, I'm going to mix it with the medium so I have a little bit more colour in the medium to match my body. So I'm going to decant a small amount of the deep and the medium onto my palette, just mix them together. I'm also going to pin my hair out the way. I'm going to style it at the end. You have to put up with my fluffy flyaways for the mix. I didn't use a brush this morning to blow dry it. So as I'm going to be out till pretty late this evening, I'm going to start with my MURAD Oil and Pore Control Primer. This one is the Broad Spectrum SPF 45. You know I'm obsessed with this product. It's great at sort of just keeping my skin from being oily for a longer period of time, and I have tried this foundation already and I did find even with this on I got oily. So if you are an oily person, you might not necessarily like this. I'm going to try it again just to see if I was having a particularly oily day. So this goes on to anywhere that you tend to get oily. For me it's the centre of the face, the majority of my forehead. So I just kind of put it on all over. It smells really nice. Just give it around 40 seconds to sink in. You have to excuse how scratched up my palette is. This is the amount that I'm using. The majority of it is the medium shade. It is only a small swipe of the darker shade over the top. So when I'm mixing foundations together, I like to make it slightly darker to begin with and work that around the outer perimeter of my face, because this just minimises the amount of contour and bronzing that you need. And then you can just lighten the formula to work around the centre of your face. So I really quite like the texture of this. I didn't think I would. It's like a velvet. I don't normally like mousse-based products or velvety sort of feeling products, but this is really nice. It gives a really beautiful diffused finish to the face. So I'm applying this in a bit of a 3 shape. So we get along the jaw, the cheekbone, and then around the hairline. When you get the product, you actually get the brush with it. It comes in a little pot, so that's quite nice. 22.3 grams, which is 0.7 ounces. It's quite a bit of product. I'm also going to take that shade down the sides of the nose because this is again the slightly darker shade. I'm going to go in with bronzer later, but this just is a bit like painting. I like to do different colours to suit the face. You normally find if you get a client and they've been on holiday, this part of their head's really dark, and if you just put one colour on, you take that away and they feel really pale. And I know you can go back in with bronzer, but it doesn't have the same effect as a real tan. So when I'm working on myself and clients, I like to mix the shades just so they fully match. So this foundation, as I said, is a balm, but it goes to a powder finish. So if you want something that's a bit more dewy, you can apply a beauty oil into it, and that will give you more of a dewy finish. It does say online that that's possible, so you're not got to worry about it ruining the texture of the foundation oil not sitting right, because it's been designed to be able to be used with an oil, probably one of their own. However, I'm sure you can use your own. If you use your fingers to apply it, you'll get a sheerer coverage. It gives you a really nice diffused finish to the skin. I went down to Tommy the other day when I first put it on. I said to him, "What do you think of my makeup?" So I've done it differently today. Quite observant anyway, and he said, "You look very diffused," and I said that's a great word for it because it's exactly what it does. It diffuses the look of your pores, fine lines, and just gives you, I guess, that airbrushed finish. So when I say this is full coverage, I'm talking about how natural full coverage should be, not to the extent you see people on Instagram and you can see the makeup sitting on their face. This is still full coverage in the respect that it's going to cover your imperfections, and it is buildable, but it's not going to give you that mask appearance, which I really like. So I'm now taking the deep shade on its own, and I'm going to put this just around the areas that I kind of want to sculpt the face. So for me, that's kind of over the cheekbones. So this is just going to give me more coverage, but also sculpt the face, so I don't need loads of products on top. I'm also going to take it around my hairline. So this is going to give you a nice healthy glow to the skin and just make you look a bit more perfected but sort of semi-sun-kissed. So for eyes I'm going to use this new Ciate London Tropez eyeshadow palette. There's 4 new palettes which are all beautiful. If you follow me on Instagram you'll see I swatched from a couple of them the other day. They're absolutely stunning, and I also want to try and use the new Mercier, it's not new but Mercier Caviar Chrome Veil Lightweight Liquid Eye Colour in the shade Crystal Rose, which is gorgeous. This is the Tropez palette from Ciate London. As you can see, it's got beautiful kind of rusty tones, terracotta shades, burnt peaches. It's just really beautiful warm palette. I'm using a fluffy blending brush and taking a medium matte brown eyeshadow, and I'm buffing that onto the eyelid through the socket. This is going to be a transition shade. Even if you have hooded eyes, you can still use a transition shade. No matter your eye shape, we always want to be creating a gradient of colour, and then you start to put the darker shades closer to the lid itself. So if you have hooded eyes, you would apply this to the actual hood of your eye. Next I'm going into the darkest of the matte brown eyeshadows, and using a slightly smaller brush, I'm now going over the same area that we applied the eyeshadow, but this time we're keeping it closer to the actual socket line itself, and also running that down onto the mobile lid close to the eyelash line on the outer third of that lid. You can see that the widest point of the eyeshadow is in line with the tail of the eyebrow. This helps to just elongate and lift the look of the eye itself. Alternatively, if you prefer a more rounded eye shape, you can definitely do it with this look. Going back to the palette, I'm now taking this more rusty coloured brown. Again, it is a matte finish eyeshadow, and on that same smaller brush, I'm now taking this colour just on the outer third of the mobile lid. I'm applying this in light washes of colour and building it up until I'm happy with the intensity. After applying each wash of colour, you want to go in with a fluffy blending brush and make sure there's no harsh seams. So I've applied 3 washes of this colour, and each time I've buffed it out with a clean blending brush, and this time I'm using what's left on the bristles to pour the colour out. But if you're going for a more rounded eye shape, then you don't need to pour the colour outwards. I'm taking that same rusty brown shade on a pencil brush, and I'm running that underneath those lower eyelashes all the way to the very front, and making sure I'm connecting that with the outer corner of the top lid so it frames the eye, and then again going in with a clean blending brush. So it should look something like this. This is my favourite part of the look. This is the Mercier Caviar Chrome Veil Lightweight Liquid Eye Colour in the shade Crystal Rose. You can see it's infused with those beautiful prismatic pearl pigments. This is the first time I'm using the product, and it's very, very lightweight. It's a water-based product, so it is a sheer to medium finish, but it's definitely buildable. And I found with my finger, it did become a tiny bit patchy, but it worked as a really great base before going in with a brush. And I found when I applied it with a brush, you got a better payoff. This eyeshadow dries down and it literally stayed in place the entire night. It's completely smudge resistant, it's not sticky, and it does also come in 2 other shades, which I definitely want to get my hands on. This part's obviously completely optional. I decided just to re-darken the outer third of the mobile lid. And again, it's just using that kind of reddish rusty brown shade. As this is a daytime look, I decided to apply a brown eyeliner. This is one of my all-time favourites. It's the Longwear Gel Eyeliner by Bobbi Brown in the shade Sepia Ink. I think brown is a lot more flattering for daytime looks, so I'm applying this along my waterline, but if you don't like it to be a soft kind of smoky feel to the eye, then leave that off of the actual waterline itself. If you have hooded eyes, you might feel more comfortable with a brown eyeshadow to line your top lid. Everybody's eye shape is different, so it's only a guide, because I know some of you will be screaming at me telling me that you can't wear it because your eye is super hooded. So it really is just a guide, because everybody's eye shape is going to vary. This particular look would look equally as beautiful without eyeliner, but I am a fan of it, so that's why I'm going to apply it. Moving on to mascara, I'm going to prime my eyelashes using the Marc Jacobs Beauty Velvet Epic Lash Primer, which goes on white, but it does start to dry a bit clearer, but it doesn't matter too much because once you go in with a black mascara it becomes invisible. You may have already tried this before in the form of a L'Oreal mascara. I used to have it years and years ago. If you've never tried one of these white mascaras, I would highly recommend it because it's great, especially if you have super fine lashes. It gives you volume before you apply your black mascara. Now don't worry if you get mascara on top of your eyelids like I've done here. Wait for it to completely dry and then you can just knock it off with a cotton bud. Having quite long eyelashes means I do get mascara onto my eyelids quite a lot. So it's ideal like when today I'm applying some individual clusters to the outer edge of my lash, because I wait for that glue to dry at the same time as letting the mascara blobs dry, and then once it's all dried the glue will go clear and the mascara can be knocked off. I'm going to pop on some Laguna bronzer by NARS. This is just going to warm up the face. I'm not adding any contour to the skin. So that is my makeup complete. I didn't bother filming the rest of my face because I've kept it really simple. I used a small amount of NARS Laguna bronzer just to kind of warm up the circumference of the face, and a little bit of my Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur Coral Cloud blush, because you know I'm loving that at the minute. On my lips I popped on a small lip gloss by Becca. I can't find where I've put it. I've put it down and it's disappeared, but it's just again quite nude. It kind of works with the colour on the eyes because it has a tiny hint of a pink hue to it. So yeah, really simple, nice kind of glam daytime look for London. Works well with just wearing black because anything kind of goes with black. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Come follow me outside of YouTube on my social handles, which will be on screen for you now. Click last week's tutorial if you missed it, and I will see you next week. Bye!